Kristen, thank you. There is strong reaction this morning over the video that silenced Capitol Hill during the second day of former President Trump's impeachment trial.
House impeachment managers showing some never-before-seen footage before last month's chaos. Now, those new pieces of video, part of a timeline of events that impeachment managers are laying out in their case against the former president. The group of Democrats trying to prove the former commander-in-chief knew that his words would ultimately lead to the attacks on January 6th. They say his actions are not protected by the Constitution, and it was an attempt to overturn the election.
Undoubtedly, a private person can run around on the street expressing his or her support for the enemies of the United States and advocating the overthrow of the United States government. You've got a right to do that under the First Amendment. But if the president spent all of his days doing that, uttering the exact same words, expressing support for the enemies of the United States and for overthrowing the government, is there anyone here who doubts that this would be a violation of his oath of office?
Once the impeachment managers are finished presenting their case, former President Trump's defense will have their own 16 hours as well. And joining us now to talk more about this is political science lecturer John Hanley. John, thanks for being with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
So when we see these videos, obviously, John, most people that see these, there's going to be an emotional response. How far does it move the needle, though, in terms of lawmakers or the general public?
Yeah, I think that those videos are important, and we're probably going to be seeing them for some time as they're in documentaries and maybe even some campaign ads. I think it might raise the temperature among some of the Republicans between those who are going to be voting to convict and those who are going to be against, and maybe some increased turbulence in the Republican Party. But I don't see it moving more than a few votes towards the conviction. Not enough to get the 17 that they need to convict.
Yeah, they've got a long way to go. Certainly, they will wrap up their side today. Then the president's lawyers will get their chance to talk. What do you expect to hear them say in these opening arguments?
I think, we're going to see a little bit more of the emphasis on procedure, on the principle of impeaching someone or removing someone who's already left office. I also don't anticipate that the president's response will go on for very long. And so we might see this, concluding by the weekend, Saturday or Sunday.
John, there'll be a lot of focus. You talk about a lot of people having to change their votes to get to that number. On those 6 senators, of course, at the beginning, that said this was constitutional. How likely is it that a few may change their mind either way on this vote?
It's certainly possible that you could see some senators who said that it was constitutional who will turn around and say that that bar for removal has not been met. I think, there's also the possibility that you could see, either that same combination or a couple more will get over to this based upon the quality of the performance that we saw, yesterday, and depending on what the president's defenders are able to do on Friday.
And John, finally, might we see this wrap up this week? I know if we get to the weekend, there's a Jewish lawyer and there's some Sabbath concerns that might push it to next week. Could this wrap up this week?
Well, I think that the attorney Schoen removed his objection, so they'll plow through, I guess, on Saturday. I think that there's a lot of desire in the Senate, both on the Democratic side and the Republican side, to get this over with. And so I think, this could wrap up pretty quickly.
All right, we'll see what happens on Capitol Hill. John, always appreciate you joining us. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you.